Unresearched with Isaac Darlington.
But yeah, aside from business, aside from all of that talk, let's break it down a little bit as we're winding this conversation down. Manchester, Arsenal.
Manchester. Why did even
I've asked that because I saw that.
Why did we even have Arsenal in this conversation?
Cristiano Messi.
Cristiano.
He has mentioned Cristiano like 3-4 times almost.
Yes.
Since we started the conversation.
As I was saying, the music, the radio or media industry is at the verge of getting spoiled. It's at the verge of getting unprofessional, as the music industry is right now. I've been to upcountry radio stations and also in Kampala, and I've seen the payment system is really ugly. People don't think that someone can spend hours, because actually their whole day, even when you're sleeping, you can dream about what you're going to say on radio. So people don't value that time, because when you join media, you've joined something that you won't stop.
Yeah.
When you end your show, you continue thinking about what you're going to say
You're
next.
in the show throughout, 24/7.
Yeah, so that value is not here now. It was with some stations, but now those stations that were also doing well have started deteriorating in how they handle the situations.
Trying to fit into the media now.
So they are deteriorating on how they handle the situation, and it's becoming ugly.
All right, the Unresearched podcast. Today I am very excited. Words and facial expression can't show because, but I'm super excited. My brother and friend, Timo Pondichat. Good to have you.
Thank you, man.
He is the CEO of Recap Brand House, the voice behind numerous voice adverts, commercial adverts. We hear documentaries. You just hear the voice and you tell her, that's my guy, Timo. Let me do a proper introduction. Tim is my mentor in radio production actually. I first got into music before I met Tim. I remember you remember the song I brought you sometime.
I remember.
You discredited it because it was lacking. And now going back and listening to that song, I'm like,
that's what happens. You see, with art,
yes,
everyone sees art in their own way, and art excites people. So when it is happening, people are very excited, and they don't think or they don't believe it is always okay for someone to tell them that it's not up to
there's
the
something
standards.
missing. Yeah.
So, but sometimes you need to be honest. So you protect the beauty of art.
Yeah.
If you don't be honest with yourself or with other people, then meaning you will definitely let in everything come in, and that's destroying the industry.
Yeah.
So
Tim, super excited to have you on. Like I said, he mentored me, and he has mentored a couple of other people. I've seen a couple of people hit him up on TikTok in some of his lives. First, wow, a DJ drop. Actually, let me do it like this. Introduce the show, because this is
what's the show?
Unresearched podcast.
This is the Unresearched podcast.
Okay, take it, Dako. The Unresearched podcast. I'm not going to add to that. I also do voiceovers, but today I want to let my mentor do his thing. So the journey of radio, you've spoken about your journey into radio production.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have this content on your page and they've seen it, but I just want to have it on mine as well. How did you get into radio production? Because previously you were a music producer.
Yeah, I was a music producer.
Yeah.
So what happened is, really, it was an accidental thing. It was a situational thing. It was about, getting tired of a situation, and then you're like, okay, let me try something else. And actually, I wasn't even, going to try out radio already, because I was a music producer. And then when things switched up a bit with who owns this, who owns that, so I was like, okay, let me chill. And then I concentrated on hair. I was used to work on dreads.
He used to, by the way, Tim, they used to have dreadlocks. It's just, yeah.
So by that time, we had a friend called, he was the son to Chiganda. Yeah. So he told, he was called Clyde. So Clyde said, he asked if we knew someone. He actually asked Imon, who I was working with.
Yeah.
Do you know
I've
someone?
met Imon.
My father wants someone to work for, his radio, but he wants specifically someone who is experienced in music,
Yeah, yeah.
music production. So because I, put my guns down for music production, Simon tells me, Baker called me, and he told me that it's like I'm in. Imon was like, oh really? Like, yeah, kale kamukubide. So that's how I went to radio. We picked up some adverts that we had tried. I went to Chiganda, and things happened. Guy told me, okay, but we're going to take you through training. So I am always grateful to Chiganda for that moment, because if he didn't give me the right person to mentor me, maybe I would have hated radio anyway. Because he brought in some guy, he's called Pastor Ronnie. I've seen him. I think he's like the translator for Fanero right now. He's called Pastor Ronnie. But he used to work for Radio 1, Radio 1 and Kabozi then. So there was Chisenyi and then Pastor Ronnie. So, he gave me the first steps of, being a radio producer. Took me some time because the transition of music to radio is really, there's a huge gap. That's
I
what
keep on
people don't
telling
understand.
people, usually when someone asks me and I say, man, I'm a producer, I'm a producer, they're like, hey, can I come to your studio and you maybe help me record some music? Now, I also do music, but I can't produce music. There is a huge difference.
Very big difference.
I think many of the radio producers I've met use Adobe Audition. And then there is, for music, most times it's FL loops, something like that. So it's
there's FL, there's Logic.
There's Logic, there's a bunch of
Pro Tools and so many.
Yeah. So the many people now, because we have people who are graduating, who are studying media, and you got onto media on skill and talent, and now you have upgraded. You also have documents to show that this is what I've been through, and you're mentoring a group of young people. I've seen you doing a couple of projects, and you're mentoring the young people. Does media, does radio, does audio production in particular, radio production, have that financial aspect? What would you say about the money in media and radio production?
Uganda's media is the radio or media industry is at the verge of getting spoiled. It's at the verge of getting unprofessional, as the music industry is right now. Why? Because the stakeholders that really invest in the music, in the media,
radio, and all of that,
don't know how much value media brings. They fancy about being owners of a media station because they think there's money, but they don't know what it takes to have a media station. They don't value the people that work for the media houses. I've been to upcountry radio stations and also in Kampala, and I've seen the payment system is really ugly. People don't think that someone can spend hours, because actually their whole day, even when you're sleeping, you can dream about what you're going to say on radio. So people don't value that time, because when you join media, you've joined something that you won't stop.
Yeah.
When you end your show, you continue thinking about what you're going to say
You're
next.
in the show throughout, 24/7.
Yeah, so that value is not here now. It was with some stations, but now those stations that were also doing well have started deteriorating in how they handle the situations.
Trying to fit into the media now.
So they are deteriorating on how they handle the situation, and it's becoming ugly. So when you ask me if there's money, I would ask you, how many people have you seen let go of their media jobs to go and concentrate into something else, from even marriage? So, well, I was working at a radio station, but when a man came and they said, they wanted to marry me, it's very hard to see a footballer leave football because of marriage. They are either retired,
or even a teacher, or a nurse, or a doctor. It's very hard,
the most left business here right now is definitely media, education, because also the music industry. People go away from them because they want to feel better somewhere else. So
also because the media, I think people, what about Funabubi? They look at it and it is like a side thing. No one really looks at media and thinks this is my full-time job. And it's like a side hustle. Let me go and do this. Then after that, I get to my main job. I think that's also a problem.
those are mainly mostly presenters that, well, it's okay, but because the discipline is not instilled when you begin, because now you can see a senior, media personality doing things that you don't understand, and you're like, oh, this is how they handle. So you need to be in a serious situation to know, okay, I was somewhere, so they told me, oh, someone else is coming in for a show. Been moving around the radio stations here.
Yeah.
So I asked, well, where is the person? She will come. What time does she start? Now. When will she come? I think she's somewhere coming. I felt hurt, and then I was, when I asked around, I was like, anyway, you know our system, you know how people pay, so someone just, needs to do something else than to have.
In order to balance the money
It's
out.
very bad, by the way, for your profession, for your stability to depend on another thing, yet you give like 90% of your time for a profession. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Like if you are a doctor, but farming gives you so much money, then you'd rather be a farmer.
Yeah.
So the media system, you see, hey, that guy works for radio, but his main business is. But also the beauty is, the media can spread your gospel of being, a farmer. That's the only beauty. If it wasn't that, of people knowing that if I'm there, it's like a location, people will come to me. We would be with no media personalities. You see, I was looking at a TikTok video, and I saw Patrick O. A lot of media guys, like good media guys that you listen to, they let it go. What do they see? They see years of putting in a lot of energy and then receiving less. It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense anymore.
Media is a channel. Now, let me tell you this. You already know, but let me tell it to you. Many times, even when we are being employed, we are told this by some of our. Not every media house does this, but our superiors sometimes will say, we are giving you a platform. We are giving you a platform. It's up to you to see how you're going to use it, but you'll be able to benefit from it. However, the money may not come as you want it to what? To come. The platform is there. It's up to you to see how to use it. I think some of that has caused the indiscipline that we now see in media.
As I've said, if I'm going to give you 100%, why don't you give me 100%? So meaning, by the time I get into that, here we don't pay so much, but there's a platform that, gives me something like, okay, so do I have to concentrate on some other business than this business? So because they know they cannot give you everything. I'm not saying, because even if it is Cristiano Ronaldo, he will ask for, bigger salary, but the minimum standard of living for someone really as a media personality would definitely be, someone being able to reach work safely. Even the equipment, the gear they wear to protect them, when, someone is covering, say, like a riot, they don't have them. That is very, very worrying.
Tim, you have a heart for creatives. You have a heart for not just audio producers, but generally people who are in the creative industry, because I've seen you work with different branches of the media. You've already cited out some of the challenges. You've gone into the people who are covering music, covering riots and stuff like that. What do you think? Is there anything that can be done, maybe particularly by the government? Are there bodies that can do something to make sure that some of these things are put in place? They are a must in order for.
First of all, you see, when COVID happened, so many things really who are put in some positions. Like you wouldn't move without a mask. Say like the same way they would say you can't drive a car without a permit. Or they say you can't drive, ride a boda without a helmet. Those are things that people need to look at. Like if you're a media personality and you're going to cover into the field, you need to have a press jacket.
Yep.
You need to have to protect your headgear. You need to have a recorder. You need to have this and this. Or maybe you need to also be smart in a certain way, such. But they really happen in certain places. Like someone who's going to cover in Parliament will definitely want to look like this and that. So, as I told you, it goes back to where you come from. Like we used to go to school. Some kids used to have shoes, others didn't have. But that didn't stop the kids from, going to school. So people be in media, not with everything, but they survive. What I'm saying is really, it's about where we come from. But now this is what happens when there is competition, tight competition. Run for your money. If you have a media house and you see someone paying better, treating people better, maybe if we come and then the other people dominate system. The other stations that really don't care will also step up the game. Like when we said when cholera comes in, they say okay, everyone has to be clean. So everyone really tries not to get distracted by the disease. They say okay, let me wash my hands.
Your take, Timze, on the copyright thing, that is that the copyright conversation. What's your take on that? You work with artists. What's your take on that?
The copyright system is really huge. It's already here because I can still own my rights for something. That's really the law is still here, but it needs to be. They just amend it to at least make it suitable for everyone who is in the business. So many people are losing out when it comes to this because say like producers lose out big time. You're a voiceover artist. You know that you will do your voice, but it has to be for a limited time. I will give you my voice for at least 2 years. After 2 years, you really need to pay extra. So producers really also charge, say like, that money is where it stops. There was an incident when Queen of Katwe was here. So many songs were taken to Queen of Katwe.
Yes.
Now they needed the producer, the songwriter, but so many artists took the money without even informing the producers. There's, like Coke Studio Africa. When they take you there, they say, who is the producer? So, because they know what it means to be part of
each of those people need to get a share of the cake, a piece of the cake, yeah?
But people here go to Coke Studio and then they're like, I'm the producer, I'm the songwriter. Actually, I think Bebe Cool did a very big job in making sure these people are heard. If you've listened to producers, biggest producers, Bebe Cool has always announced them. Pademan, Washington, Tony Host, all those Bebe Cool, that generation, producer Alan, Renex producer, all those. The producers that Bebe Cool has not really touched, the new generation. You would say like the Nasims and all that, But most producers, the biggest producers in the country, have been made. Their names have been sounded more when Bebe Cool put it out there. Other people are not. It would be like you're hiding, That's why the stamps or the logos of the producers are very sounding lately because they know they have to be part of the project. So maybe how will I work?
Yeah, these days what do they call it? It's like a signature, whatever.
Yeah, a signature has to be there. You look at the videos, go to YouTube, go to any artist's song, not all artists, but most of them do upload their songs unprofessionally. The credits, someone just puts Isaac,
brand new. And that's it. Fire emoji.
Hashtag. New. Uganda music. Well, there's no producer, there's no writer. Man.
Do you think, anyway, that's another, because of time, we're not going to get into the full conversation. Though I would have loved to have a deeper conversation with you. Maybe sometime when we actually sit down and have plenty of time, we'll have this conversation.
Yeah.
But you've mentioned something about even how our music system, the influencing the media, is not being properly used to promote our music. I like a couple of artists that are now coming up. We have some few artists that, many artists. Let me not be biased, but I like how Joshua Baraka lately is doing his music, and how he's promoting it, how he's pushing it out there. I think his management has also been very key.
Yeah.
And a couple of
big time.
Yeah, and a couple of other things. But yeah, aside from business, aside from all of that talk, let's break it down a little bit as we're winding this conversation down. Manchester, Arsenal.
Manchester. Why did even
I've asked that because I saw that.
Why did we even have Arsenal in this conversation?
Cristiano Messi.
Cristiano.
He has mentioned Cristiano like 3-4 times almost.
Yes.
Since we started the conversation.
Yeah.
Cristiano. Okay. Between being casual smart, you're having an interview, for example. Let's say you're having an interview, right? I know how you dress, but just between showing up in a suit or showing up casual smart, which would you go for?
Depends on the interview, but casual smart is safe.
I knew I was going to say casual smart. It's actually generally safe. So thank you so much for being part of the conversation today.
Thank you too.
I'm super excited about what you're doing with the Rika Brand House. Can I also do one for the Rika Brand House? A voice over?
Yeah, definitely. I trust you.
This is the Rika Brand House. But thank you again for investing your time into the young people. If you want to set up a studio, a professional studio, the person to get in touch with is Tim. His number is at the bottom of the screen. Not his number, but the number of the company, because it's done by the what is it called? The padding and what setting up a studio is called what? Professional installation. Yes.
Or soundproofing.
Yeah.
Professionally.
It's Tim. If you want, you're organizing a media seminar, you want someone who is a professional mentor, still the very same person. He's not just a mentor to me. I've lived in his house. I've met his family. It's amazing, the journey. And he's more like a father figure to me in this area of media. So special thanks, brother.
You're welcome.
Yeah.